It might even be one of the most common things that people create a business to escape the rat race, but they end up working more hours than when they were employed. It's funny how sales increase when you raise your prices because you're more energetically aligned to sell at higher prices. It feels more respectful to you and your energy. And it's weird, but true. We don't have to choose trading time for money or being stuck to a geographical area. We don't have to think in the same way that we used to. We can literally be so free. Hi, I'm Becky Eekins, business mindset and lifestyle coach for occupational therapists. I focus on creating a freedom-based online business, helping OTs to package up their skills in unique and exciting offers that feel so good that they sell with ease in the online space. Since leaving the profession of OT, I have now worked with hundreds of clients online, helping them to create a life they feel inspired by. In this podcast, I will talk about the lifestyle goals, mindset, and strategy you need to create your own life of freedom. Hello. So on today's podcast, we're talking to people who've already got a business, but maybe it's just not as successful as they hoped. So a big part of my clients who come to work with me have already been trying to create a business and have varying degrees of success, but it's just not allowing them to be free. And it's not providing the level of income that they want. Many of them have found their niche, which that alone is an amazing piece. To know your passion project, to uncover your purpose, like that is fantastic. But for whatever reason, it's not bringing in the income that they dreamed of, and they're working so hard, like so hard when they come to me. And this is very common in business. In fact, it might even be one of the most common things that people create a business to escape the rat race, but they end up working more hours than when they were employed. Okay, but it doesn't have to be that way. And that's what I'm here to kind of share with you. I always think it's sad when people pass that message on because that's not how it needs to be. So sometimes we joke about these things and sometimes we normalize them, that entrepreneurs are burnt out, but it doesn't need to be that way. So the sad thing is when it happens like that is it's so easy for you to lose your passion. It can leave you at risk of burning out and not achieving your full potential. Clients may see you in your lowest energy, and even though you can pull this out for a short while you're client facing, but you're slowly, bit by bit, losing the will to live. And very often it's a lack of sales. That is often what I hear, just a lack of sales and a lack of charging a decent amount. So for many of you listening, you've built successful businesses, whether they're bricks and mortar practices or thriving online ventures. But despite your achievements, you're just feeling overwhelmed, exhausted. You started with a passion for helping others, but now your dream is just feeling more like a drain. So what's going on here? And I have put together the top 5 reasons, really, that I think this happens. So the first most obvious one to me is that you've set up a business around low ticket offers. And by that, I mean you're charging per hour, or you're charging low amounts. Maybe you've got some courses or things that don't cost thousands. The second thing, you're trying to do everything yourself. The third thing, you've not mastered sales and marketing strategies. The fourth thing is you are not aware that there's even a better way. So you've just done what everybody does without even really being aware that there is an alternative. And 5 is you haven't mastered your mindset yet. So these tend to be the main reasons that I see. So let's just speak into the first one. So this is the low ticket offers. Many OTs set up their businesses around low ticket offers. It's one of the most normal things to do, or selling hourly services, which means you need a high volume of sales to be able to make a significant profit. And this can work, and this is very normal. So a lot of people are doing this successfully, but also the model can be incredibly draining and unsustainable in the long run. I also see many OTs trying to sell low cost courses, spending ages creating courses and then selling them for $150 or even less sometimes. Or this is the other one I see a lot, super low priced memberships, like $10 for a membership, $17 for a membership. And the theory, it doesn't matter what it is, it's always the same. You're trying to help people at a cheaper rate, and you think you're doing a nice thing for community. But by doing that, very often people aren't respecting the value of it. And deep down, you may actually resent the low price because of the amount of work you're doing for it. And sales can be slower. So the way you package up your services can literally make or break a business. And I hear a lot of objections around this. And the objections are very often told to me as facts, but in actual fact, they are just beliefs that people hold. And they stem from a combination of lack of business knowledge along mindset issues. Very often mindset is a big driver. So people will say to me, well, my clients just won't pay anymore. You don't know what my clients are like. There's no way they can afford this. There's no way they can do anything different. I don't have anything bigger to offer. Who am I to be able to give something bigger that costs more? Or this is not how OTs work. This is not what we do. So there's a lot of these sentences. The other one that I've spoke about before on the podcast that I hear over and over again, you don't know what it's like in my area. People will not pay. And I've literally heard that from people in every area all over the world. So these are just your personal choice. These are just beliefs. They're not actual facts. And even if they were facts, all facts can be changed, like all niches can be changed, all businesses can be changed. So when I take on a client with a current business, we always speak into what they're aligned to, what excites them, what bits of the business they want to keep, and what actually feels like an energetic drain. But we always raise prices. I don't think I've ever worked with anybody and not taught them to raise the prices, because we're always selling too low generally, or we're selling per hour. And it's funny how sales increase when you raise your prices, because you're more energetically aligned to sell at higher prices. It feels more respectful to you and your energy. And it's weird, but true. And we might not know this at a surface level, but at a deep down level, if we're not energetically aligned to the low prices that we're choosing to charge, we can be so resentful about the amount of time that it's taken or the energy that it drains from you. And again, like with everything that I say, if you feel happy with your current structure, this is not meant for you. This is when you're not feeling comfortable with it. So no judgment. Everybody's business has some good and some bad, but just think into how you're feeling deep down. And it's very often reflected in sales, because if you feel fantastic about something, it's most likely performing well for you. So all of these statements can be true and untrue, but if you want change, there's things that we can do. So yeah, so raising your prices. Number 2 was trying to do everything yourself. So we're trying to handle all aspects of your business alone, it's just a fast track to burnout. You end up spreading yourself way too thin and not focusing on your areas of strength, on your zones of genius. And there's always a balance in this of when to hire, when not to hire, who to hire, how to hire. And we can speak into it in other podcast episodes. But basically, if we're thinking about creating a business that allows freedom, which is my focus here, we want to create a lean and digital business. It allows for automations. And sometimes the automations take a while to get set up. And for one, I have a tech person, Helen, who does all of my automations. She spends her time scratching her head and doing those things that just would cause me a lot of stress. And she seems to enjoy. She says, Becky, it's okay. It's a challenge. I like this. I just think she's crazy, but that's good. We need all types of people in the world. And that massively helps my business, having people I can rely on. And especially there's nothing nicer than when you're taking time off work, knowing that you've got people you trust who are running things. But again, we can speak into that on a different podcast episode because hiring is such a big area. So then the third one was sales and marketing struggles. This is one of the biggest reasons why people won't have a good business, because actually they've not spent the time to master sales and marketing strategies. And if that's the case, attracting and retaining clients will be a constant uphill battle. And it really can lead to inconsistent income. There's nothing worse than that. And increased stress. So many OTs actually just don't think to invest in this area of growth. They may say, and again, this is where the beliefs and thoughts come in, but I've heard, I don't like sales. Sales is not for me. This is like the worst part of my business. But if you're not going to embrace it, it's like the biggest skill you can have in any business. And if you avoid learning these skills and actually learning to find the joy in them, it's going to massively affect your growth. Hiring people to do your sales and marketing who are not aligned to OT methods, language, and values can be disastrous. But generally, hiring people before you have a good solid foundation in an area can be a nightmare anyway. It's just better that you master this yourself. Taking some time to master sales and marketing will literally get you everywhere. And again, it's a combination of strategy and energetics that is going to be the biggest area of growth here. It's not all about strategy. The mindset piece is so important when it comes to sales. So if you've got a story in your mind that you hate sales, or that it's for other people, or you've got these negative impacts about it's aggressive, it's pushy, all of these words in language that I can pick up when I'm listening to my clients, and it's so interwoven from childhood. Very often these are things that you're not often aware of, but sales, the process is always going to feel icky and your results will be watered down. So learning how to reframe some of these beliefs and thoughts about sales will have a massive impact to transform your energy and results. And again, this is such a big area. Sales and marketing is one of the biggest areas that when I'm working with clients on my one-to-one programs, I very often listen to sales calls. I read messages. I really dive in and get deep in the sales process, because it's amazing what you can pick up when somebody actually observes what you're doing. So much growth there. I recorded a mindset meditation, one that you can do overnight. Very powerful in terms of helping you create the confidence, the self-belief and deal with any money mindset issues. I use these kind of overnight meditations all the time. I found them incredibly powerful. So I've created a very special one, and I'm giving it for free to all of my podcast listeners. You can download it on the show notes. So the fourth one was an unawareness of better options. I don't know if that's a good way of saying it, but basically many OTs are just not aware that there is a better offer, that there's a more efficient way to structure their business, that they don't need to be burnt out to have an OT business. The two things don't have to come together. And this is the thing, and this is where I like to see my role to sprinkle in as a hope giver. Because if somebody, when I go back to my history of this, I was just so desperate to find freedom after the heart attack situation and just all of the stress and the burnout. I was so desperate that I hunted and hunted and hunted for a different way of doing things. But if somebody had presented the idea to me at the start, I could have saved years of trying to find this out. So that's very much where I like to see my role as a hope giver. But we can tell you that there are definitely better ways of creating a business that allow you to find your flow and ease if that's what you want. And that don't require you to be burnt out. So very often an OT practice is created in the same way that it always has, serving the same populations and using the same strategies. This is absolutely fine. So remember that we do need people to be delivering these services. We need people who are going to deliver services for insurance, for example, and doing lots of paperwork, working in systems. Like, I'm not trying to change the whole world of OT, because actually it will lead nobody to be looking after me when I'm older. However, for those of us who do want and crave a different way, a way where we have more freedom, more time to spend with our families, we feel more aligned to the work we do, we feel more fulfilled, this is who I'm speaking to. And I know in 2024, which it is currently, and beyond, like, we have infinite possibilities to be able to make money. And we don't have to choose trading time for money or being stuck to a geographical area. We don't have to think in the same way that we used to. We can literally be so free. There's probably never been a better time in the whole of society when we can be so creative in who we are, how we present ourselves, and how we help people. It's incredible. So you don't tend to create what you don't expect. So I would take some time to open your eyes to the new possibilities that are out there. Start looking online, have a look what other people do. And just have some belief. Our skills as occupational therapists are incredible to the world. We just need to know how to package them up. And you need to have the idea and the belief that you can have everything you wanted. You can have a business where you feel fulfillment. You can have the 10K months, 15K months and beyond. And you can do this with location freedom. And you can do this like working 20, 25 hours a week, maybe even less. It's possible. It's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen straight away. 100% sure it won't happen straight away, but it's possible. And that's all you need to know, that it's possible, and take steps towards it. So the fifth one was mindset challenges. So this is lastly, but probably one of the biggest and most important, because as you've noticed, it's interwoven with all of the others. But many business owners haven't mastered their mindset yet. And self-worth and self-belief play a huge role in your ability to raise prices and create high ticket offers. Whenever we have a business problem or we think we've just hit a wall, like a virtual dead end, and it's nearly always just a belief. It's very, very rarely an actual physical end. And what we think is fact, if you can open your mind to the fact that what you think is a hard fact is most likely just a real big set of firm beliefs and thoughts that you've created. And you've created them over a lifetime, so they're not always easy to get rid of. But you've created this imaginary block in your mind. The mind is so powerful, and that's why the mindset and energetics work play such a big role on all of my programs. And so, how do we turn this around? So, as an international business coach for OTs for the last few years, I've helped many of you raise your prices, boost your confidence, and restructure your businesses to create profitable, time efficient models that don't lead to burnout. So, if we just quickly discuss some of the strategies you can implement to find the flow and ease in your business. So, if we just speak into raising your prices, many OTs undervalue your skills and expertise. And if we restructure what you have, and this is what I'll always do when I'm working with people, to focus on high ticket offers, you can serve fewer clients at a higher price point, reducing your workload and increasing your income. It also allows you to give more personalized and impactful care to each of the clients. So it enhances their experience and it enhances your satisfaction. So it's one of the first things that I would do if I was looking at working with you. So the next thing in terms of hiring a team is identify the tasks that really drain your energy. And aside from sales and marketing, just find a way to outsource some of them. It might mean that you're hiring admin, collaborating with other OTs, using automations. For example, some of the automations like scheduling and billing, we don't want to be sending manual invoices. Oh, it's just such a drag to do that. So you don't want to be having systems that require a lot of work. So just keep an eye out all the time on what can be automated, what can be handed over. And I'm not saying to do it straight away because you need to be making money first, but do consider when the time is right so that we can keep you focused on your zones of genius, because that's where you're going to feel so much better. And then the third one, if we think about mastering sales and marketing strategies, obviously, if you decide you need help in this is an area that I really love to help people. So speak to me if that's something that you want to do. I have spent literally thousands in sales training myself because it was a big area of growth that I needed. Like it just doesn't always come naturally to OTs for many reasons. And so I worked on it and worked on it and worked on it. And actually, within that, I found that I've studied a lot of the masculine and feminine energies within the sales process. And I believe as OTs that there's a different way that we do sales as opposed to many of the other people that are out there. And it's about finding our authentic voice within the sales process. So, very important area just to grow. The fourth thing was exploring new business models. So just literally go on Instagram, have a look, and just open your eyes to what people are doing. And, like offering coaching programs, creating online courses, memberships, all of these things. Just don't dive into something. Remember one of the first tips about creating high ticket offers, but just look at what people are doing. And start to build your awareness of how people are actually making money. And working on your mindset is the last one that we need to speak into here. But this is, as I said, the biggest. Your self-worth and self-belief are fundamental to your success. Your energetics just have to be, they just have to be there. And engaging in practices that build your confidence and remind you of your value are so important. It can include things like affirmations, journaling, seeking mentorship, or joining supportive communities. One of the biggest things that I notice when we're on calls together and when we're working one-to-one is it's picking up on the language that people are saying and reflecting that back to them so that people can become more aware of their own beliefs that might be holding them back. And that seems to be a very powerful thing, whether that's done in one-to-one or whether that's done in group. There's a lot of power in that. So in our coaching programs, we do emphasize finding flow and ease. That's so important. We don't have freedom if we don't have this flow and ease. So we like you to align your business with your natural strengths and energy. And to do this, we delve into understanding your purpose, identifying your zones of genius, and even exploring tools such as human design to tailor your business and what makes you tick. And when you play with this natural flow of energy rather than going against it, this is where you reduce friction and create a more enjoyable and sustainable business. So that's what I do when I'm working with people, even when they've got this business, they've already been running it a while. We need to find their flow. And imagine the end of this, where you've got a business, you wake up feeling excited and energized. You know that your work aligns with your strengths and passions, and you've got a clear and effective structure in place. High ticket offers that just reflect your worth, and a supportive team that handle the tasks that don't light you up. You're attracting clients who are thrilled to work with you, and you've got the time and energy to pursue all of your passions outside of work. It makes you such a balanced person because you've got so much free time. I don't believe that we were made to work like massively hard. We're not made to just keep going and keep going. We're not machines, we're humans. And this is the freedom that I keep talking about. It's not just financial freedom. It's the freedom to choose a balanced and harmonious life that just makes you happy. So thanks for joining me today on this episode of OT Yourself to Freedom. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with your fellow OTs and leave us a review. And I would love to continue supporting each other in creating businesses and changing the world of OT and creating this freedom. If you are an OT with 3 to 10 hours per week spare, then the OT Yourself to Freedom membership is best for you. It will teach you how to create a business, an online freedom style business, but in an affordable way. And this is best for those of you who haven't got the time to really go for it. If you have the time to go for it and you want to achieve bigger results in a short space of time, what you're looking for is the OT Freedom Collective. This is for OTs who've got 10 hours a week or more and you're just really keen to get big results. That's where you're going to be closely supported by our team for a 6-month period. It will be intensive. You'll learn everything you need to create this freedom style business. And the biggest word that people say about it is that it's life-changing.